The Indian Army, a name that echoes bravery, resilience, and honor. But how did this mighty force come into existence? Let's go back in time and uncover the powerful story of how the Indian Army was truly formed. It all began in 1757. After the Battle of Plassey, where the ground shook beneath the feet of more than 100,000 soldiers locked in fierce combat. The battlefield was a storm of chaos and intensity. Muskets cracking, cannons roaring, and cavalry thundering through swirling smoke as the British East India Company began raising vast armies of Indian soldiers, known as sepoys, to protect trade routes and expand their territory. These soldiers were organized into three main presidencies: Bengal, Bombay, and Madras, each fielding their own formidable forces. This era marked the beginning of structured military forces in India, forged in the crucible of massive, chaotic battles that would shape the subcontinent's destiny. But a century later, in 1857, the sepoys revolted. This uprising, known as the First War of Indian Independence, was triggered by deep resentment and the infamous greased cartridge incident. The rebellion shook the British Empire to its core. After brutally suppressing the revolt, the British Crown took over direct control of India. In 1858, the East India Company was dissolved. The British Indian Army was born, now under the direct rule of the Crown. British officers controlled everything, and Indians were, selectively recruited, mostly from so-called martial races. This army was used to control Indian territory and to serve Britain's imperial interests worldwide. In World War I, over 1.3 million Indian troops served overseas. From the muddy trenches of France to the deserts of Mesopotamia, they fought bravely, though sadly, many never returned home. Their sacrifice is often overlooked, but never forgotten. In World War II, India raised the largest volunteer army in history, over 2.5 million troops. They fought in North Africa, Italy, and Southeast Asia. At the same time, another force was rising, one with a very different goal. Led by Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose, the Indian National Army allied with Japan to fight against British rule. "Give me blood and I will give you freedom," he declared. The INA became a symbol of Indian defiance and national pride. On August 15, 1947, India gained independence. But the army had to be divided between India and the newly formed Pakistan. It was, honestly, one of the most complex and emotional separations in military history. In 1949, General K.M. Cariappa became the first Indian commander-in-chief. For the first time, the Indian Army was under Indian command, free from British oversight. Since independence, the Indian Army has fought in every major conflict. The 1947 war with Pakistan, the 1962 war with China, the 1965 and 1971 Indo-Pak wars, and the Kargil War of 1999. Each time, the army has defended the nation with unmatched valor. Today, the Indian Army stands not just as a fighting force, but as a symbol of unity and service. From disaster relief to peacekeeping missions, the Army continues to serve with dedication, both in war and peace. From colonial sepoys to global peacekeepers, the journey of the Indian Army is one of struggle, strength, and pride. Jai Hind.